Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome into the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herger, founder and executive director of First Shot Foundation. I welcome in 2 special guests from Special Kids, Casey Ewing and Christine Novak. Welcome in.
Thanks for having us. We're glad to be here today.
So, again, the evolution of Rutherford County is growing and expanding. Explain what Special Kids is to most people that, just like me, I found out not everybody knows about First Shot today.
Good.
Right?
Right.
So, tell
Yes.
us about Special Kids first and foremost.
Okay, so Special Kids is an organization. We have 2 separate therapy centers. One is our therapy center that houses OT, speech, PT, and feeding therapy, which is one of our, I'll talk about feeding therapy in a second, but those are for our kids that can come in and have, appointments that with their needing help with their speech, help with their fine motor skills, day-to-day skills, any of those different options. Then we have our nursing center, and our nursing center is for our kids that need a nurse and care 24 hours a day. They need someone that is with them. And so in our nursing center, you can drop it off Monday through Friday throughout the full day. It's for parents that work but still need someone that can actually help their kid, and a registered nurse is with them throughout the day.
It's more than a caregiver.
Oh, yes.
Because I've visited.
Yes.
So explain OT and some of these terms that you're using. So like me, a common person, when I walked in, I'm going, all these initials, I don't get it.
What do these even mean?
Yeah.
Yes, and you have to see it to believe it. So we would love for you to come and like you've said, we can hear about all these initials and all these things and all the things we do for the kids, but when you see it, it just really comes to life. And so one of the things, Christine and I, we work together, and we're in a different building, and our job is to let people know about Special Kids and to get out in the community, but then you can also just get into the day-to-day and forget why we do what we do. And so we'll go across and watch the kids, and we have a playground, and we can look out and we can see the kids on the playground just attempting to go down the slide. The neatest thing about our playground, for example, is it's not ADA accessible. It is a playground that you would see anywhere, because we want our kids to realize that life doesn't just mold to them. Does it? Does life mold to you?
It hasn't so far.
Mine either,
and at 64 years old, I don't think it's going to.
And so with our kids, we want them to experience, they're going to get to a playground, and the playground is not going to be accessible and just fit right just perfectly to them, just as life doesn't fit perfectly to us. And we have to learn to overcome some obstacles. Their wheelchair might fall off a little bit on the side. Well, what do you do at that point? How do you get back if your wheelchair's gone? How do you climb up the stairs that are hard for you? And so we watch our therapists work with the kids to not just do the day-to-day tasks, but okay, how do you overcome the things that are difficult in life? How do we do this? And our kids are definitely have even more difficulties than we have on a daily basis just to do the normal skills. And so they can come in for PT, OT, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. and then feeding therapy. And so when I first started, I was like observing the different things, and I walked in and I watched a teenager and his mom deal with one of our therapists, and he was learning how to eat foods that he did not want to touch, that he didn't like. He didn't like the texture. He didn't like the feel of it. And one of our therapists, he's so good. He was playing this little game with them on a little board, and he'd have to switch swing the little board thing, the little cursor thing around, and whatever it landed on was the type of sauce he was going to have to use. And so he made it a game, but made it interactive and made it fun for this teenager that wanted nothing to do with any of us, but yet teaching him, how do you touch that thing? How do you, at one point he spit it out, but that was like a success. Like, you at least tried it. You let it touch your tongue. You let it, because in my head I'm thinking feeding therapy, and we do have those that are on a tube, and that's the only way. We try to move them forward in that and teach them those skills. But a lot of it is that day-to-day skills on kids that really do struggle with textures and feel, and I don't like these foods, and they kind of get in the same foods, and so we help them learn. And I don't know about you, but I grew up and I was like, I've raised my kids the wrong way, because we grew up, whatever you put on your plate you eat, and you don't get up from the table until you've finished.
Well, you can obviously see that was the case in my family. You put it on your plate, you finished it, you cleaned it. Casey, when you're looking at this, my son had texture problems and didn't eat certain foods. Is it for him or not? I mean, when I go to special kids, I saw something very different.
Yeah. Well,
than my son just being stubborn.
Right. Well, and I think we do need a doctor recommendation to see our kids, but a lot of things we're coming to realize is parent education. How do we educate the parent on how do we do this correctly? And there are all levels. There are levels of kids that just need help with textures and help with things like a lot of kids that the textures of food bothered them. So did clothes. So did you'll see it was maybe something greater. Maybe it was just stubbornness. You don't know, but the doctor knows, and the doctor will definitely refer you and let you know. There's all levels of kids. There's also kids that are on a feeding tube that are having to learn that those skills, and we have all different options from what, but that's, between you and your doctor, you'll figure out what. But I think there are a lot of things, especially when we were raising kids, that they probably had some issues that we didn't know about, and now they are on the forefront, and we can help them walk through those things.
So let's get into what Mr. Chris Truelove wants us to talk about. Longtime friend and brother in Christ.
Yes.
So I do want people to understand that I've known him a long time. What a special man leads y'all.
Yes.
Race update.
Race. We had
a
beautiful day like today. No, I'm just kidding. So we had our 14th annual race was this year, and due to storms, we had to move to a virtual race, and so we had to pivot the night before, and it looked like there's a lot like today. There's tornado warnings, there was thunder, there was lightning, and throughout the night, we set up at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Vendors start coming. That was about the time the weather was going to hit. We had 45 plus vendors with tents, and you know how that, so just imagine what all that was going to be with those. And the best part is that our people were so understanding and so lovely, and we got the cutest videos of parents running with their kids in the backyard. We had one that's in a wheelchair. She go look at our Facebook page. It's so cute. Her sister pushed her across their made up finish line in their house and gave her medal. And so it was neat to see the reaction of people and how they really do care about special kids, and they're willing to do all different kinds of fun things. We had businesses, SRM ran all together in their property, their team. They always have a big team. MMC has a big team. They did. Salem is one of the kids that goes to special kids, and her mom works for MMC, and they put all their shirts on together, and they did their own little virtual run and sent it to us. So it wasn't what we predicted or wanted, and again, like life, sometimes things don't turn out the way we want, but our organization and then all of the people that support us just really rallied around, and were great to come up with a different way to run.
So Casey, you and I have something in common. We both are in nonprofit worlds. it's amazing to me how long some of our people have supported us. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had people that have been at every dinner I've ever had. I've have an insurance guy that's been a whole sponsor for 20 plus years. Talk about how that race and those people, they're going to come back next year. Mm-hmm. They're in, right? Because of all the things, hoops and hurdles that they will jump through for special kids.
Yes, it's awesome. So Christine and I are both pretty new to special kids, and so we have a donor-based system. When you start looking through it, and we're like, this person has been given for 14 years, every month, and I don't know, how do we love on them? How do we tell them how much we appreciate them? And that's part of our job, is figuring out. Friday we just went over to the therapy center and grabbed just some different coloring pages, and in the fine motor skills room, we have a certain room that's just fine motor skills, and they work on their handwriting and their is it too hard, is it too soft, all those different skills. And so we went over there and we just started pillaging through and finding anything that the kids did, so that we could send them thank yous to our donors, and just let them know how much we appreciate the fact that monthly, we know right now people are struggling. We know that probably it could be the first thing you think, oh, I'm going to stop giving. That's like our first reaction when things get hard, but our people are just, they continue to serve us and love us, and we're so thankful. I was, of course, being over the race, and I was like, we're about to have to move virtual. Like, this could go really badly. I mean, people could really get upset, and they were so wonderful about their response to us, and just continually appreciative.
I think, though, again, for those listening, if you have not visited, if you ever visited, I was 20 years ago. I was in a group that did a project for special kids. I'll never forget the first visit to special kids. And that's the thing. I think people need to really understand the human impact that special kids has on our community, and really just not our community, and just not Rutherford County. It has a big stretch, a big arm. So talk about how far out do you guys reach?
Well, our main focus is Rutherford County. We do have the main amount of kids do come from Rutherford County. There are other surrounding counties that do come to us, but for sure we focus on Rutherford County. There are a few percentages of the surrounding counties, but Rutherford County for sure is where our reach is, and because this is where our home is, and so we want those kids. We were looking at a number the other day. I think we serve about 600 kids a year, but there's up to 17,000 kids in Rutherford County that need our services. And so, yes, I mean, 17,000. We can throw numbers out, but when you realize the parent that has the kid that is struggling and needs our help, that's why we keep doing what we do, and our donors keep supporting us, because they know when you came, you made the impact. When you come and you see it, you will know why we do what we do. And so I was doing a tour not too long ago with some of the guys from Southern Building Group, and Tony's one of the he works for them, and he came and he had worked at special kids in college. They were doing a project. Somebody asked him to come start putting some toys together over there, and he helped put toys together. Well, then he started reading to the kids, and this is, now he's married with kids, and he's back because of the impact it made seeing that. He's back, and he's showing me on his phone pictures of him reading to the kids back in college, and what that impact is and what it does. So you have to come and see it. We'll give you a tour anytime.
Yeah. Well, again, we need to get back out to special kids and see it again. Let's talk about special kids therapy and the different things that you offer besides what we already have. I know we briefly touched on it, but you have the life skill room and the therapy room, and what's the difference?
So our life skill room, this is really a neat story. So one of our kids had told their mom that they wanted to learn how to make their bed. And so, yeah, I was like, can I send all of my kids there?
You just got an influx
Yes,
of about 1,000 more kids.
Yes, parents are wanting their kids to do this. But this was the child. He wanted to learn how to make his bed. And so we kind of got stirring and thinking. We had a generous donor who helped us, and different donors helped us to create a room that kind of mocks a bedroom. It has a bed with it, and it has like a little row with closet, so they can practice putting their clothes on a hanger and put it up, tie their shoes. And then we had another kid, after he's learning to make his bed, that was getting older, and his mom is his primary caregiver and was starting to hit those teenage years and was needing help in the shower and did not want to keep doing that with his mother, obviously.
Yep.
And so we put a little mini shower in the side of it to help him learn those skills. What do you do when you first get in? What does the second get in? Make sure you wash, where all those things. Again, all parents would love to have this, but this really, for these kids to really realize, hey, these are life skills that I need to know that I want to be able to do on my own. So again, this is the impact that our therapists have with our children, is they're teaching them things to do on their own. Skills that they can really work through that we don't think about. Sometimes, yes, our kids are stubborn, don't want to do it, but some that really need okay, you do this first, you do this second, you do this third, make sure you wash here, make sure you do this. And it gives that mom such a relief to know someone's teaching her getting to be grown son how to do some of these skills. And we would love, when we're working on the next phase 4, eventually when we build our next building, to have a little mock mini apartment, so we can learn cooking skills and how to eventually get to where these children can learn to live partly on their own, and how to do some of these skills that we take it, for granted that we can do.
So when looking at your kids when they come, are they lifers, or are they just sometimes a season or even a short-termers? Explain the differences that you see.
Okay. Well, we have both, and we have some kids you'll know, especially down in nursing centers. So nursing's different. They get dropped off pretty much Monday through Friday from 8 to 5:30, and that's probably where you definitely need to go visit and see these kids get cared for and taken care of. And like you said, it's not just a caregiver. These nurses down there think that these kids are like their children. They treat these kids like their kids. We had the goats come. These little mini goats of Little Seeds Farm came out on Friday, and just for the kids to come and experience them. And they were running around with them. But I was watching our therapist with them, and they treat these kids like they're their kids. They're with them all day long. And so those kids that are in this in the nursing center are probably, their life, they'll stay a whole lot longer. And we've had some that have gone all the way through the program, all the way up until we take kids till they're 21. And so we've had kids go for that long. Now, in our therapy center, where you're coming in for different skills, PT, OT, speech, and feeding, it can be, a situational, like we need this much help. And, one of the things we talked about earlier was our kids definitely, a lot of times, we can all understand this. You go to the doctor and the insurance says, I'm going to pay for this amount. And a lot of times the doctors or the insurance company will do that with the amount of therapies they have. You can have this many therapies. Well, we'll get in with them. We realize
it's double or triple.
It's double or triple. And so that's where we, fill in that gap for parents to help them. They need to be there longer. And so we have fun graduations when they graduate from things, when we get to see their success. Some kids go from
We
not
did
being able
that
to
first
walk.
graduation.
Did y'all?
That was our special group.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
so
how
what'd
we
y'all do?
started it. And we did it at the Church of North Boulevard Church of Christ. And it was unique to see who showed up and the different effects and the different people that were affected by their child or grandchild. A lot of grandparents, shocking to me.
Yes.
Raising these kids. So, it was crazy, but it was good. It was rewarding.
Right.
And, and here I do something similar. I'm in a kids ministry. You're in a kids ministry up until 21. And I don't know. I can't explain the effect of going and watching the therapist, but more importantly, the nurses. and some of the
If
kids.
I could add, I'd say it's the kids. The kids are the ones that give us the perspective. And to add on to what you were wondering why we have these longtime followers, that was my first question. I mean, I am fairly new with special kids as well. And so I would say, why special kids? Why do you keep coming back? Help me understand so I can do better. I can do my job better and create more followers and partners like you. And it was always, twofold. One is they either had an impact. It was a grandchild, it was a neighbor, it was somebody at work that they felt they wanted to support. But it was aging out and growing these kids up. So being able to help support, take these little children, and at the end of the day, they are productive people in our community. I mean, Murfreesboro is such a tight-knit community, and they want us to continue to grow and put these kids back out there where they're serving and doing, bringing their joy to the rest of the community. So that's been really impactful for me to hear from other people that we know, I mean, we live lean at Special Kids. We don't have fancy offices. We don't have all these, fluff. And so to see that it truly does go right for the kids, I think makes a big difference when they come in and they watch these kids, no matter how hard their life is. I mean, we have tennis shoes like tied onto the tricycles, so they slip their feet in because their feet can't stay on. And when they can get all the way around one time, that's a big day for them. So what perspective from the kids is like, what's your real challenge in life? That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us asking. And I think that's what keeps our donors there, is they see the results of the work and the investment and the money that they bring to Special Kids.
You said something, your next building I kind of caught. What is the next big, I guess, capital project that you need to have to meet the needs of the 17,000 other children that aren't in our being served right now?
Yes. So we're hoping in the next probably 2 years, maybe next year, to start phase 4. So I don't know if you remember when you toured, our nursing building is down the street. And so we are all disconnected. We have some older houses that were turned into offices. And so we're in 4 different buildings kind of spread out throughout this little block. And so we would like to, our therapy center is our newest building, attach the phase building onto the therapy center so that we can move nursing up the street, because our therapists are walking down the street, and we all know what drivers do. We've got texting and they're flying. It's kind of become a thoroughfare between one road to the next.
And you're right next to the college campus, and
Yes.
they're not paying attention either. Let's just be honest.
It's just a lot, so our therapists are walking down to nursing to give them their therapies. Our playground is on our therapy center, so if our nursing students, if they want to grab them, they're bringing them up the street. And so it just is, everybody's kind of in a disconnected world because we're in different buildings, and just to all be together and just to see, then to be able to have like a life skills kind of a mini apartment where we can get them ready for the next stage of their life. And just so many different things you can do as you're all together in one.
The one thing I took from you, Casey, and we're going to take a break, and I'm going to come back and ask you how you guys came up with them not becoming victims. And I really appreciate that, because it's the number one goal of First Shot with the kids that we serve. So we'll take a break and be right back with Special Kids.
Life's too short to stress about insurance. That's why Ray Call at Rayburn Insurance is here to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
First Shot, growing in Christ with life and athletic skills.
So we teach God's Word at everything we do to implant it in them so that they understand that the only way to get through the world is with God on their side.
First Shot founder and executive director Andy Herzer.
Our focus is on our inner city here at Patterson Park.
From academics to athletics, First Shot's focus is toward building a stronger, more courageous spirit to face opportunities and obstacles that our youth confront every day. To find out more about First Shot, go to firstshotTN.org.
you?
Mike Klassen with Middle Point Landfill.
The cost if Middle Point doesn't exist to you as a taxpayer is going to be significant.
Trash, let's be careful where we throw it away.
The next closest landfill for Middle Point right now is down in Lewisburg.
Garbage that we generate will have to be taken upstream.
That's about $90 per ton of waste to get it there.
Cost to take out the trash will trickle down to local residents and businesses. The answer's here, Middle Point Landfill. We don't need to take our garbage up the creek without a paddle.
Discover hidden treasures at the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in Murfreesboro. Whether you're searching for stylish clothing, sturdy furniture, or even large appliances, we've got them all at prices that you'll love. But here's the best part. 100% of your purchase supports Greenhouse Ministries, serving over 70 families a day. Your shopping dollars go straight back into the community, making a real impact. Shop smart and give back at the Garden Patch Thrift Shop on Spring Street in Murfreesboro.
I am Charlotte Gardner.
Why do you love Adams Place?
Gee, there are so many things, but I guess the choices. You can be as lazy as you want to be. You can be as active as you want to be. The residents are friendly. The staff is wonderful. You don't need to be concerned at all. It's up to you.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111.
Adams Place on Memorial, across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. That helps our economy. The Red Cross is still critically low on blood. Please give the gift of life. Phone the Red Cross at 800-RED-CROSS and make an appointment to give blood at a time that fits your schedule. Just about time for the farmers market to begin. Rutherford County's Producers Only Market gets underway on Friday, May the 9th, and continues through October the 31st. That's over at the Lane Agri Park, 315 John R. Rice Boulevard. We remember you. It's a support group for caregivers of dementia and Alzheimer's. And We Remember You meets on the second Tuesday afternoons of each month at 4 o'clock over at the Villages of Murfreesboro. And again, this is for the caregivers of persons with Alzheimer's and dementia. The Middle Tennessee American Muscle Car Show is coming up Saturday, May the 10th at the VA Hospital, and the show benefits veterans. Oh, and the Heart Walk is May the 17th at Gateway Island. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here for this afternoon with a high in the mid-80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low near 66. By Tuesday, partial sunshine develops, high 84. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 61.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE's Drive EV program has resources for members who would like to learn more about all aspects of EVs. MTE is developing programs and educational materials to answer member questions. Learn more at driveev.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into WGNS and the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer, Executive Director and founder of First Shot. Welcome back in, Casey and Christine. And we haven't talked about your golf tournament, but we're going to. But I did want to ask you one question. You said something. I've been in a kids ministry now for 22 years. And what I see is more and more kids make themselves victims. You said something about you have a regular playground, not a wheelchair accessible. And what is it that I mean, they've got so many hurdles to get over. It's easy for your group of children, to me, to become victims, but yet you guys are fighting against that every day. Why?
Well, I think the kids really ultimately want that feeling of accomplishment and that feeling of, I accomplished this task, I took care of this, and you watch it on their faces. I think our therapists do such a good job of rewarding them with these different, getting to go out on the playground and things to us that, our kids might not think are exciting, to them just light them up. And I was watching one of our therapy sessions, and one of the girls was having to go up this little incline and then come back down, and every time she went up she had to grab one of the rings and then put it on the little stand. And so, I mean, and she's struggling and everybody's cheering for her, trying to get her. She needed to do it 5 times to work on walking up the hill and then back down the hill and up the hill and back down the hill. And when she did it the very last time, she got to go up we have if you come to her, which like you said, you need to see it, we have a slide in one of our gyms that then she got to go down the slide. And then as she's finishing that therapy session, then she, like you had mentioned, that get on the trike, and our building is in a circle, and so there's a circle that you can go around, and so she got on that trike, and she'd ring that bell as she was going throughout our building, celebrating what she accomplished in that. And I think that's what changes that mentality, is seeing that success and celebrating that success. And our therapists are so good about allowing the kids to do that. And so they have something to work for. We all love something to work for. When you have something to work for, and then you accomplish it, you have that feeling. And so the more that they get to do that and experience that, one of our other gyms has a rock climbing wall on it. And so some of the boys, like that, when they do something that part of their therapy task, then they get to climb the wall. And so you'll see when you come and visit our building that it is created from the playground to the gyms to the slide to the trikes that they can ride around, to help them understand when you accomplish things that are hard, good things happen. There's just that principle, you reap what you sow. It's a biblical principle. We're founded on biblical principles. And when we start instilling this in our kids, that when you do the hard work and you put forth the effort, yes, life is going to be hard, but there are the blessings of we work heartily as unto the Lord. And I say that in our team meetings a lot, that because it can feel, you're in a nonprofit, you know what it feels like. The task can feel daunting. It can feel like we're always needing to raise more money. There's never enough. How do we accomplish this? How do we fill in this gap? It's this big, huge amount that we have to continually, it never ends. We'll get through Hope Drive, and then we have Spring Drive. We get through race, and now we have golf. It's one thing, and we feel it and the kids feel it. But when you accomplish something and you do something, first of all, for the glory of the Lord, knowing that we are taking care of those that are the least of these, we know that God's looking down on us and saying, well done. And so we want the kids to feel that same thing. And so all of their therapies are designed throughout the day to do that. You'll see, if anything, you'll see how much our therapists celebrate with our kids of a job well done.
Well, I think it's the most important thing is to teach kids how to work and do good deeds and give back to others. I think it's the number one thing we're lacking. Like my parents, every Sunday, once a month, we'd go up to the Basher boys' home, and we have to give back. We would feed them, go play with them. But we were there with kids with less than us. That's what my parent taught. And I think, it's what Chris does. It's about others and serving others and doing it with the right heart and for the right reasons. And that's why Special Kids has succeeded. Because you guys have done it for the right reasons all along. And I want everyone to hear that you got to get out and support this golf tournament. So someone explain what your spring golf tournament's about, when, where, how much.
No, go ahead.
We're going to ask. Christine, come on now.
Well, I'm the part that comes out and asks you to participate. Okay, so let's see if I have the dates right. April 15th? May 15th 16th. 1 o'clock starts. See, I don't know. I'm not a golfer. I don't know the language.
I'm not either, but I run a golf tournament.
So, Casey, can we talk about all the tournament? What I love about the golf tournament is that it's fun, but it is also a way that our sponsors can meet us and meet our kids and meet the people, meet the others that support. It's a very interactive environment. When we do the race, we've got our people who just run. It's still fun. We have family fun zone, but this is a little bit different. And we also are targeting, a different demographic. You're not going to see families in wheelchairs at the golf event, but you're going to meet colleagues that you might bump into in this community. So a lot of our sponsors like that for networking, or it's a team, their team might win the opportunity to golf if it's in, one of their companies that sponsor us. So it's a little different heartbeat to it. But what we did with the golf this year is we created sponsorships that had nothing to do with golf. So that'd be perfect for someone like me because I don't golf. So I can go into companies and rather than offering you might pay a certain amount to be part of our golf tournament, but then you get to come and golf and bring 1 or 2 teams or whatever the package might be. And they're like, well, I don't golf. I don't care. Well, then great. Now you get to sponsor, one of these 10 other options. We've never had that in the past. And so that's really exciting this year that you can still participate, get the benefits. It's really helpful for us as well because it just expanded our reach when we go into the market.
Can you give us an example of one of those non-golfing?
Yeah, so if you're like one of our golf cart sponsors, you're going to have signage on the golf cart. Maybe you want to bring a product in that you want to donate a product, so you'll spend $500 and then a product or gift certificate. If you're an attorney, it might be consultation. If you're a restaurant, it might be a gift certificate for dinner. So then your product again can be at the event. So we're continuing to get you exposure as well, but you're not coming to golf, but your name is there, your company's there, your presence is there, and that's really what we're trying to do. Create that corporate connection and partnership opposed to sponsorship.
Love it.
Yeah.
So again, give those dates, what the cost for the team to participate and how to contact you.
Yes. So all of our information is on specialkidstn.com is our website, and it'll under events you'll see the spring golf, and it's May 15th and 16th. And it's $160 a person, $640 for a team, and we would just love to have, if you would just want to take your business and come play or come and sponsor. We've got all the different options, like Christine said, that you can do to be a part of this, and it's just a fun day. We do all different kinds of stuff. At one point we have a putting contest where we kind of some have to be in a wheelchair. Some we put glasses on that maybe you won't see things as clearly as you did before. Just to experience some of the different handicaps that some people experience, and then how that affects your life. It does definitely affect their golf game, and so they make it a fun little contest just to see and help us kind of understand. It's always good to get a grasp on what others experience, and we don't know what that feels like. And so the more often that we can get in someone else's shoes and experience what they experience, even if it's at a fun day at golf, it helps us relate to people better. We all know that we all have our own hurts and our own hang-ups and disablements that we all suffer from, and some might not be as physical and some might not be as obvious, but when we can start to where we get in someone else's shoes, even if it's as silly as being on the putting green and doing it from a walker or with a cane as opposed to just things, that helps us understand what someone else is experiencing. And even at a golf game, if we can help someone else understand a little bit what it feels like to be struggle in a different way than we struggle. We all struggle, but struggle in a different way, and help them experience that. That's what we want to do. And of course, all our sponsors are out there. It's a fun game. We have different games throughout that the guys can play and make it a good afternoon for the guys or ladies. There we have some ladies that like to golf.
So again, give those dates.
May 15th and 16th.
1 o'clock shotgun start.
Yes.
$640 for a team. It's a bargain. Where do you play the
Indian Hills.
Indian Hills.
Yes.
So again, a great day. You got 2 different options, which I think's smarter than me. I do mine all in one day. I don't know why, it's a daunting task of 10 hours of golf when you don't golf, right, Christine? I mean, we all have those things, like you said, that we don't do. And again, I think for people to understand how much Special Kids has to raise, it's not funded by insurance companies and a lot of special interest groups. I mean, this is really grassroots, mom and pops, small businesses funding Special Kids.
Yes.
So do you guys want to allude to now the funding gap and how you guys are going to overcome it?
Yeah, well, I mean, to help us all understand, we've all been to the doc, like I said earlier, we've all been to the doctor, and we know insurance pays for a little bit, sometimes they don't pay for anything. But then there's this gap in between what your insurance is paying and then what our parents have to pay. And that's a large gap, and it's a large, to continually let kids come in and get the services that they need. It does create a gap, and it widens more and more every day. And we do our due diligence. We work with insurance companies. We have consultants with insurance companies to get what's best for our parents, to get as much paid for as possible. But that still creates just this wide narrowing, a wide gap of.
It's a
funding.
growing gap. Let's be honest with everybody. The gap. The insurance companies are trying to pay less, and the services are still the cost of the services. I mean, you've got nurses, you've got therapists. They cost money. They're coming in and doing a service and are working. So let's talk about, Christine, how Special Kids are going to do some different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
To find the funding.
So I think you have to look at it like you would a business. And I think that's one of the key factors that I try and focus on. I'm in the fundraising side of the business and building that aspect of it. I think fundraising has just traditionally happened certain ways for a lot of us. For nonprofits, it's what we've done, it's what we've known, and it's how we've trained our communities to give. We do different events. We do, we've done all the things. All the things.
You're welcome, Brad.
But what's happened is that, as that gap widens, we have to get creative, and also keeping in mind that it doesn't. All of our sponsors can't always do what they've done in the past. So when that shift happens, now you're set back. Whether it's in business, whether it's our economy, that doesn't matter. The reality is numbers tell us the game and tell us the story. So when there is that gap, we have to look at what we can do. Our, and I'll just put it out there. I mean, our nurses do what they love to do, but just what they get paid. We're always challenged with, like every industry, every nurse, every therapist, of, retaining all of our great people. That's, we're sensitive to that. We want the best of the best for our kids. So what we have done this year is really looked at first quarter, tried to assess. Casey and I are both new, and tried to see what else can we do? What's worked? Number one, we want to keep that going and elevate that. And number two, we want to look at what else can we do to fill those gaps? So here's some of the things that we've worked on. Number one, we are not afraid to ask. We need our community. And if I find you at the bus stop, I find you at, the restaurant, I'm probably going to ask. So just be prepared. Because if we don't ask and we don't tell our story and we don't have people come for our tours, they won't know who we are, and we become, invisible. So after 26 years in the community, most people know us. But what we're seeing, and what first quarter taught us, is that this community is growing faster than our fundraising efforts potentially, and are reaching out and staying connected. So working with that mindset of, are you working in the business or are you working on the business? We've been working in the business, and we're shifting that to working on the business and growing and expanding and getting a different reach. How we're doing that is continuing our base, that we're taking care of our people, thanking them, asking them questions. Why are you still with us? What can we continue to do? And maintaining and continuing to love on those relationships. And understanding that the growth of Rutherford County and Murfreesboro has really shown us the network of small businesses. It's the heartbeat of Murfreesboro. Some make it, some don't, and we understand the challenges there. And we have heard time and time again, when asked, we'd like to sponsor, but we're strapped with cash flow. We're having a hard time, but they want to be part of us. So we created a small business partnership program so we can spread out their funding throughout the year, keep them connected throughout the year, offer them events and sponsorships that our big banks and other corporations have the luxury of getting at a fraction of the cost. It's like $10 an employee. So it's essentially a sliding scale. If you've got 1 to 5 employees, here's your monthly giving. If you've got 5 to 10, and we're pretty excited. We've had people say thank you. Now their connection is validated, and nobody goes home feeling bad that they can't give. It's a terrible feeling. We all feel like that. I want to give, but I can't. I wish I could. We're going to get rid of that here by just offering other opportunities. So we've got 3 different programs that are similar to that we're reaching out to in this community.
So when you look at it, how do you get out to those? I mean, it's 2 of you. There's 1,000. Hold it. There's thousands of small businesses, lawyer groups, accountants. I mean, lots of small business. So how are you getting to them?
Probably the same way you do. You're asking, you're getting out there. We're on the phones all the time. We have a great referral network, and we do ask for referrals. But again, I've got a great database. So there are those that we can reach out to that maybe gave at one time. And so the in-office time is very efficient. We do have some tools, that we can use to continue to do that. But nothing's changed, and I don't think that it will in the nonprofit sector. You really have to be in front of someone, understand their heartbeat, their need, and invite, share, tell the story, and ask. And that's never going to change. And they're either going to get on board with your mission or they're not. And so we do that 1,000 times a week and keep doing it.
The greatest training I had was an assistant basketball coach. Being the recruiter, you're asking some snot-nosed 18-year-old arrogant, most of the time kid, and you're getting a lot more no's than you are yes. So I got trained that it's okay to get a no. I'm just going to go to the next person and the next person. And it's kind of like, just find people that have a passion to help children. And when you do, it's unbelievable. We're going to take our final break and be right back with Casey and Christine from Special Kids.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
In retirement, it's all about income. Your money, making money, and you're not spending down your principal. That's the way we do it at Retirement Income Solutions. So if you're spending down your principal or your money's not making money, keeping you ahead of inflation, solution, check us out today at risolutions.net, risolutions.net. And make sure to join us Saturdays at noon and Sunday afternoons at 1 for Retirement Income Solutions Radio with Nathan Cox and Lindsay Cotter.
Motherhood to me is everything.
They have no days off. They're so resilient, so strong, and so underrated.
They are 24/7 on call.
I wouldn't be where I am today without her support and guidance.
She just pulled her boots on every day and went to work.
She taught me the importance of being self-reliant and kind, but not a doormat.
Mom is the pillar of our ranch.
She's the backbone of our family.
I'm very fortunate that I grew up with a great mom, and I'm even more fortunate that I've got a great mom for my children.
Boot Barn, keep west.
May 9th, the 50th year of the Rutherford County Farmers Market.
50 years of farm to family freshness at the Lane Agri Park on John R. Rice Boulevard.
7 a.m. to 1. It's not just a market, it's the Middle Tennessee tradition.
May 9th at Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable in WGNS. I'm Andy Herzer, Executive Director and founder of First Shot. I welcome back in Casey and Christine from Special Kids. It's been a quick hour. I told you it would be.
Yes.
We were talking off air. Go back to the fundraising and how you have kids that have graduated and the success they have. Because I think, like most businesses and business-minded people, they want to say, I've given this, what's the benefit? What has happened
That's
in
true.
your program?
We call it the ROI, and business people get that. So when I talk business, I don't want to ever diminish what we do from our partnerships, but truly businesses are looking at, they've got X amount of dollars that they can give, and, they have to, in this day and age, be mindful of where that money's spent. So that's why with the giant social media presence that we have and how many people come to our websites, Casey can tell us some of these numbers, they're huge, and it's worthy of that. But I also, the other return on your investment is when we take this little kid who's 9 and, a year later he's eating on his own and graduating into not having to come to Special Kids anymore. Or one of our favorite little people is now all grown up is Chloe, and she'll show up at your golf event with her little leg braces on and tell the story of how she's working. She's got 3 jobs. She's working at the Piggly Wiggly. She's a YouTuber, and she is writing a novel. And really being productive. Those are return on the investment, and sharing those stories all day long. And our parents love to share those stories. They'll give us testimonials for our website. They'll show up at events for us. I mean, it truly is a big, giant family of just trying to educate and show why we do what we do and make it worth your while to be part of Special Kids.
Again, what are some other ways small businesses can get involved with you besides the traditional golf tournament, the race, the month? Is there any, what are some other ways you want businesses to get involved with you?
We love volunteers. We have someone who takes care of that all the time. Now, we don't have volunteers that can come out, and do a lot of the sessions, but we love our volunteers for our big events or if we're doing a project. Some of our corporate teams no longer can financially step up, but they'll bring us 20 people and they'll redo our landscaping, or they'll, paint rooms. I mean, we will take a lot of anything that comes our way and see if we can make it work. That's something that's really important to us.
Another thing we do is Camp Ability. It's called Camp Ability. And over the summer, and it's at North Boulevard, Alexis runs our Camp Ability, and it is pretty much camp for kids. And they get to experience camp like any other kid would get to experience. And they do MTSU basketball. They go to the bowling alley. They Chick-fil-A lets them go and order for themselves. They kind of shut down Chick-fil-A for them, and we have a whole day there. Different sponsors do stuff like that. The bowling alley, MTSU, all these different things. And then we will have a lunch that's kind of where you can go and experience it and sit with the kids at camp. That we'll have businesses come in and they can get a table there at that for the camp lunch and get to see kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis, but at camp it's a little bit more interactive. They go to the pool. There's just it literally is like the kids get to go to camp. It's one of the favorite things that we do, and the kids just love it because they're getting to experience something that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do.
So who's all eligible to come to this camp? Or is it only kids that have been through special kids?
No, anybody can come. Yeah, just any special needs kids. It's for them to experience camp, and so you can get on our website. It's called Campability, and you register for camp the way you would register for camp. That's another thing that we end up fundraising for. Also, is helping bridge that gap so these kids can go to camp for the summer. It's 4 weeks.
So my question is, to sponsor 10 kids, what would it be? Do you have that figure?
I don't have that figure, but
here's what I want. Here's what I want to do is challenge someone to sponsor 10 kids to go to camp.
That'd be awesome.
And there is a gap between it, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this pledge to you. I'm going to find one person to sponsor 10 kids.
Thank you.
That's in my group. I think it's something that, again, a lot of my people. I think we have a lot of overlap.
Yes, sir.
Of people. We're both Christ-centered
Well, let's
ministries.
make this fun then. If you're gonna do that, then we're gonna find somebody to match it, and we're gonna do the same thing. You can bring us 10 kids, and I'm gonna find somebody to match that.
Yep, I think that's what we.
Do we need a deadline? What kind of date are we working with here?
You give me you give me 2
All right,
weeks.
2 weeks. Let's do that in 2 weeks. I mean, that would be
And then
fabulous.
I can report whether we did it or not.
Yes, there we go.
So I need
Awesome.
someone out there listening to help me sponsor 10 kids to go to camp for special kids and special needs kids. Again, what I love most is you're raising them out of the victimhood of what all kids want to achieve.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't met one yet in the 22 years of doing what I do that doesn't want to be successful. And so special needs are no different. They have the same heart, the same mind.
Usually more. Usually they bring more to the table
Well, what
than
they'll
us.
do is they'll fight through it. They'll grind through it more than kids that don't have special needs. And I know that because I'm a special needs kid. I'm dyslexic. I stuttered. I had to go to therapy and all this stuff. So here they have now me on radio talking, right? And I don't stutter, So again, someone out there listening, I need 10 kids, and I need one of you, Casey, to call me and tell me what that cost is going to be.
We'll find that out.
All right. Anything else that you want to lay on the hearts of our listeners right now as we end the show?
Well, I thank you for allowing us to come in and share what we do at Special Kids. I think once the community, again, just continues to hear what happens in our therapy and nursing centers, and come see it. We'd love for you to come tour with us and get to see firsthand what it's like to watch these kids learn and grow and ride around. I mean, when you see one of the kids get on that trike and ride around and just toot the horn and of success of what they're doing, it'll change your life.
Well, again, you are a part of changing lives for special needs children in our community. I thank you, and we'll do this again.
Sounds great. We'd love to come back.
Thank
All right,
you so
thanks
much.
for listening to the Roundtable. I'm Andy Herzer. I'll see you next Monday.